Hey guys, so I just got back from the Captain Marvel movie, and I want to do it's spoiler-free possible review of it that I can because it was fantastic. But I'm also, you can't see it, going to be packing while I do that. Meant to be done with that 6 hours ago, and it is 10:15. I leave tomorrow morning. So what I am going to do, let's move this down. First of all, look at all that mess. And then you just get like my butt in the picture. In the frame. Ah, don't fall. Okay, so 10 seconds into it, it already had me crying. Like straight up trying to keep tears from falling out of my eyeballs. It's just, and if you go see it, you'll know why. It's not your normal, I'm not falling, you're falling. It's not your normal Marvel sequence. Similar, but not the same. You will just, I cried probably 4 times, but I cry at everything. So, I mean, I'm not sure how much of a merit that is. But I really love how they did her timeline. They did Captain Marvel's timeline. So at first you're just like, if you've read the comics, I've read a few, you know her baseline story. She's in the Air Force. She's trying to become a pilot and this and that. I don't know that much of the lore. More post her origin story. The way they've done her origin story, it's not like Spider-Man or Batman where it's just like Spider-Man gets bit by a radioactive spider, and it's really entertaining when I'm not in it, isn't it? So yeah, Spider-Man gets bit by a spider. And then he gets all these powers, and Uncle Ben dies, and we all know the story. Batman, his parents die, he becomes Batman. There. The way they did this, it wasn't in that same kind of this happened and this happened and this happened. It's just, it's like a whirlwind. It's just going every which way, which leaves you're just kind of sitting there through it as like, okay, but when is this gonna happen? Or are they gonna do this? And they ended up doing everything. So, which is really, really nice. The way, I guess it's kind of, they do it in kind of memory flashbacks, but in a unique way. So you're getting the story as she's getting the story. Because, spoilers, she forgets who she was prior to becoming who she becomes. Cryptic. So I really appreciated how they laid out the time frame. And then the whole movie is just one huge nostalgia flashback burst. I'm wrapping up my Oswald scarf. Guess who I'm being this weekend? But it's just like the soundtrack. You got Nirvana, you got TLC, just everything. There's a Blockbuster in it, a Radio Shack, payphones. Who remembers payphones? And then you with the spoilers, I think it was in the trailers, but you get to see baby-faced Coulson, young sweet Coulson, and it's still I can't think of his name. We all know who I'm talking about. Same actor. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson hasn't aged ever in a day. And so there's like some scenes with them that are, I wouldn't say wholesome, but very sweet. But also at the beginning of the film, kind of towards the beginning, you get some Pulp Fiction vibes, which I thought was really fun as well. There's a chase scene, which is always fun. It's completely action-packed, almost non-stop action. Jam that in there. Yeah, so almost non-stop action. And then the way they set up the villains is uniquely Marvel. Like, I'm gonna pack, but no, actually, I'm just gonna sit here and talk to you. Is uniquely Marvel, because I don't know how many people have watched. Actually, they've done this with pretty much all their villains. Is make them some really evil, and then twist it, where you start to they pull on your heartstrings and make you feel for the villain. In this one, they did that, but they took it a step further by throwing a twist in there that you wouldn't expect. Especially if you've read the comic books. The Skrull are the enemy, but the twist they give them it was unexpected for me because I haven't read everything yet. And from what my knowledge of her universe basically is that neither the Kree or the Skrull are good guys. They're kind of just there. If you get caught in the crossfires, sucks to be you kind of mentality. And I know there was one I read, or honestly it may have even been the animated show, the Avengers animated, where they infiltrate Earth and they're the bad guys and the Avengers have to figure out what's going on and stuff. You get to see a lot of Samuel L. Jackson. It's so great. I love it. You get to see the very beginnings of how he becomes Nick Fury in his station. He is working with S.H.I.E.L.D. for S.H.I.E.L.D. I can't sit on my knees like that. With S.H.I.E.L.D. for S.H.I.E.L.D., which is fantastic. I don't have any water. How am I gonna do this without any water? I need all these things. Anything here? So, yeah. So you get to see that, and my favorite character out of the whole thing is a cat. There's a cat. There's an orange cat in it. He's so sweet. He's such a good boy. So good boy. Like a cat, really? Yes, really. And then you also get to see how Coulson becomes Fury's right-hand man in a way towards the end of it. You get to see what happens to his eyeball, which is hilarious, honestly. There's so many laughs. I was laughing the whole time, and then I was crying, and there was some big oofs in there, and some oohs, and just so, like, the nostalgia of it. I think that's like kind of the driving force behind it, honestly. Anyone who, because it was like my whole childhood. We mentioned Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think there was an Aaliyah song in there because it's set in like 1995. There's Crown Vicks everywhere. Like, the clothing, it's amazing. It honestly, it was a fun movie that still stuck with the Marvel superhero thing. I mean, yeah, parts are predictive, but it's a superhero movie. You've read the comics, you know what's going on. One thing I thought was funny, and I wonder how much this was like Disney's part, there was a slight kind of Star Wars-esque scene towards the end. If you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And you should go watch it, it's pretty awesome. And I like how they kind of did all the phases of her uniform in a way. The green uniform we saw in like the pre-production pictures and stuff, that is her Kree uniform. That's why it's that color. And so some things happen, and that's why it gets changed to what we know and love. But part of her uniform comes up over her head for like fighting in space and whatnot. And that's how she gets the mohawk that my hair doesn't want to do. The mohawk, her. And one thing that really touched me, there was a couple of tributes to Stan Lee in there, which were really sweet and really appreciated and really enjoyed. And everybody in there was just like, oh, and like every time he was mentioned, you know, there was clapping, and it was just really sweet. And because without Stan Lee, we wouldn't have the Marvel Universe, we wouldn't have comic books. Well, we'd have comic books because DC, and independent, but we wouldn't have Marvel. So That was really sweet of them. I'm an old woman. One thing that I found really touching was how, I'm trying to think of how to say this without giving any spoilers. There is a very strong female friendship that's not sexualized in any way or anything like that. It's pure friendship. Beautiful, strong bond between two extremely intelligent women that are equals. Carol Danvers might be a superhero, but she might have superpowers, sure. But that didn't make her any higher or anything like that than her best friend, who is essentially honestly on the same playing field, but also a single mother, and you know, that's a superhero within itself. And they kind of address that in a way. It's subtle, but I really appreciated how, like, you don't have to have two female characters. And why I'm all for, you know, having two female characters who are sexually, have a good healthy relationship, are sexually attracted to each other and whatnot. But it's really nice to see two strong women characters where it's not two women either being catty to each other or two women starting off hating each other and then becoming friends. It's like they're friends from the start and they're able to come back together as friends after a long period of time, and kind of pick up where they left off, which I thought was really sweet. And yeah, it just, that made me cry too. Strong female relationships are so important, and I'm so glad that they highlighted that. It was really nice. And then Samuel Jackson is just absolutely hilarious. Serious when he can be, but he was mostly just hilarious. And then the after credit scenes, it's a Marvel movie, you have to stay through all the credits, all of them. It's it ties everything together very nicely. Again, no spoilers, but it kind of delivers in game to you in a very nice, neat package that all you have to do is open the bow and then you're gonna get an awesome present. And overall, it was just, I really enjoyed it. Is it like, does it go against like the first Avengers movie or even Infinity Wars? Maybe not, probably not. But it is really nice to see a strong female lead, not portrayed hypersexually, not as a trope. There's some tropes, sure, but for the most part, I haven't been this up close with them here for a minute. Let's go back down here. There. It doesn't have a hugely tragic backstory. It's nothing she couldn't recover from, nothing that's holding her back. It actually, her learning her backstory helps further her in strength and will and attitude. There's one line towards the end of the movie which I thought was so appropriate on so many levels. She was saying it to this character who she had looked up to and all that, who had, spoilers, kind of turned his back on her in a way, betrayed her, kinda. And he was like, "You prove yourself to me, prove yourself to me." She's like, "I have nothing to prove to you," which I love because all the BS, all the bullshit coming up in the film, where, you know, crybaby bitch boys, white straight men are like, "Oh, what about my reputation?" Bitch, shut up. Hey, she has nothing to prove to you at all. You got Captain America, you got Shazam, you got Batman, you got Spider-Man, you got Hulk, you got Iron Man, you got Aquaman. Well, you had Aquaman. You got Flash. You got some Green Lanterns. Like, shut the hell up and let us have a strong badass just will kick anybody's ass. Like, I mean, you'll see why if you haven't seen Infinity Wars. What have you been doing? And 2, spoilers if you haven't, there's a reason Nick Fury called her to come help them with the Thanos problem. So overall, I think she is a brilliant superhero. I personally am definitely going to be cosplaying her. I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. But yeah, I just really thoroughly enjoyed it. It's just a good, fun movie. No, it's not like, if you want something that's not predictive and makes you think, we already know a Marvel movie, a superhero movie, is not there for that. It's to take you out of your reality for 2 hours or more to just have fun. And that's exactly what it does. And she's a funny character. Her sharp wit and timing and smartassery is just wonderful and refreshing, and I loved it. And yeah, I just overall really good things. I don't have any complaints about it at all with anything. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. It is an enjoyable film, and just going with that mentality of just like, I'm just gonna sit here for 2.5 hours and not think about whatever's going on in my life and just enjoy an action-packed, funny yet touching superhero movie. It's just what it is, and it's fantastic. I hate this angle. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna get back to packing, like I said I was gonna do. And I hope you go and see it. If you do go see it, let me know your thoughts. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you do too. And boop that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, I love you.